Hi, today is Sunday, February 12th, 2017, and this is A Swede Speaks. The Norwegian Labour Party is falling in the polls. At the same time, the Norwegian Centre Party is rising. This is not at all surprising. The Labour Party is led by Jonas Gahr Støre, who comes from a financial dynasty and who lives in the most expensive part of Oslo. He has earlier talked about Norway as the colorful fellowship. How many people of color do you think lives in Mr. Gahr Støre's neighborhood? You're right. That's completely right. Very few. I know this because I used to live there. Anyway, he also talks about raising taxes. Yes, you heard right. In oil-wealthy and highly taxed Norway, he talks about raising taxes. This is technocratic globalism at its finest. And also, earlier, he spoke about how Norway should take more so-called refugees, more migrants, but he has been a little quiet about that lately. Maybe he has realized that people don't really want that. And Norway borders Sweden, so we can just look at Sweden and we see what's going on there. And we don't want that here. So he has been a little quiet about that lately. So, how about the Centre Party? Both the Labour Party and the Centre Party belong to the left-wing bloc in Norway. Actually, they both formed the former Norwegian government, the one before the one we got right now, together with the Socialist Left Party. However, as far as I know, what brought the Centre Party to the left-wing bloc was their opposition to Norway joining the European Union. And happily enough, Norway stayed out of the European Union after having a referendum in 1994, where a majority of the Norwegians voted no. The strange thing about, for instance, Norway and Sweden, and this also goes for Finland, is that the so-called right-wing parties have usually been very much in favor of the European Union. Things are maybe changing a little now, at least in Norway and in Finland. Also, it depends a little on which parties you consider to be right-wing. But back then, the entire right-wing blocs, they were all in favor of the EU, in Sweden and in Norway. Okay, in Sweden, I think the Centre Party in Sweden, they were divided. But let's not go into that right now. Another day. Anyway, and thank God that Norway stayed out of the European Union. What happened in Norway, though, was that the Norwegian Parliament, after a referendum, voted for Norway to join the European Economic Agreement, which was a bad thing. Basically, it was EU minor. It was EU light. We are almost an EU country. We are not really a part of the EU. I mean, I live in Norway, and I'm a Norwegian citizen now, so I say we. But everything that's decided by the European Union still affects us, one way or the other, and we have to follow most of the EU rules. That's why I think that Norway should leave the European Economic Agreement, the EEA, altogether. But let's get back to the Centre Party. The leader of the Centre Party, Mr. Trygve Slagsvold Vedum, is a relatively young man. Hey, he's 1 year younger than me, so he's pretty young. Also, he is a farmer. That's not very elitist. And what does he want? What does the Centre Party want? Well, what they say, if you should take them by their own words, among other things, they want food produced in Norway. They want industries in the entire country. They oppose forced fusions of municipalities from smaller to larger units. Thus, you could say that they oppose power being transferred further away from the people it concerns. And they oppose handing over power from the parliament in Oslo to European Union through the EEA agreement. Does this remind you of President Trump? Because Mr. Slagsvold Vedum has been called the Norwegian Trump. I'm not sure if that's correct, but it reminds about him. If I am going to vote for them, most likely no, I'm not. But given the choice, I would rather see that the Centre Party rises and the Labour Party falls than the opposite. Also, I hope that this will make the so-called right-wing parties of Norway, Høyre, which is the so-called conservative party. I don't consider them very conservative, but they're the so-called conservative party. And the Progress Party, or Fremskrittspartiet in Norwegian, who are considered right-wing populists, will become more conservative and less liberal. I hope that the conservative wind that gave us Brexit, that gave us Trump, that it will also this year give us Wilders in the Netherlands, Le Pen in France, and a more conservative parliament in Norway. I want less globalism, more conservatism, and I hope you do too. If you like this video, or if you like this channel, please like and share my videos, and I would very much like some support to run this channel. You don't have to give me anything, but it's nice if you do. $1, $10, $1 million, whatever. And that could be done through my PayPal account, through Patreon, and I will of course include the links for that in the box below. And this is a Swede Speaks. Have a nice day.